Oh, it's me, Reidy, beat the first man. So the Olympics might well be off and running, but let's be honest, the real gold is to be found here. Gold in terms of entertainment. What have I got for you on this week's show? We have got the boys from Greedy Soul on Zooming In. They are not to be missed, including a fantastic story about how they got their lead vocalist. It's a proper blag, it really is. Well worth sticking around for that. We've got How Old heads to the Northwest. Ted is here with another little knob of the week. And of course we have the name game. So what are we waiting for? Play the balls. So episode 49 then, guys, just one away from the half century of episodes. We've got a little bit of news coming up about the half century episode. But as always, to my regular viewers, thank you so much for continuing to watch and sticking with us. If you're new to the show, please click subscribe down below. It's taken me 49 episodes and I reckon I've just about got it. Don't forget to ring the little bell because we don't want you to miss out on another episode. But most of all, and very, very important, and at least one of you paid attention to what I said last week. Click that button, the little likey button. Give us a little like. It does make, I don't gain money from likes. It just makes me feel like it's really worthwhile. Can we get 10 likes this week? Right, there's your do. So 10 likes, that's all we're asking for. So get on it. So next week, there will be no episode of Beat the First Man. Boo, boo. Yeah. What do you mean? Thank God for that. No, so there'll be no episode next week. I'm taking a week's break to revitalise, refresh the show and come back for episode 50 with a bang. The good news is we have some great new features lined up for the new season. And most of them will be launched in episode 50. So some of the old favourites will stay. Ted will obviously stay. How Old, the name game. A lot of them will stay, but there are some beautiful new ones coming in. One of them, the prop, has been ordered. It is about to arrive. Trust me, it's going to be brilliant and it'll run all season. And I think you'll I think you'll get behind it. You'll be like me. You will see the good side of it. So, little reminder, no episode next week. So enjoy today's. 2 weeks time, we'll be back with episode 50. Please come back for episode 50. We want to make that one of the most popular episodes we have ever had. So that's in 2 weeks time. Anyway, so let's get started. And How Old, the part of the show where quite simply I show you a picture of a footballer back in the day and all you have to do, simple enough, is guess how old that footballer was. Easy, right? Nah. So this week we head to the northwest of England and a player who started his career at Manchester City Football Club pre the Arabs' money, and he made 119 appearances for City before he made the switch to Oldham Athletic. So he didn't fancy travelling too far. At Oldham Athletic he made a further 206 appearances before, guess what? Yeah, he went back to Man City again and he made another 106 appearances for Man City. He then had spells with Bury, Limerick and Shrewsbury. Or is it Shrewsbury? You decide. And then he called it a day. After football, he did have a little try at Limerick as a player manager, but then he decided to open a driving school and he worked as a chauffeur. So there you go. But what we want to know is when this photo of Kenny Clements was taken, how old was he? Answer to be revealed, as always, later on in the show. So, I can hear something. What's that?
The name game.
Of course, it's time for the name game. So, that classy jingle leads us to beautifully named footballers around the world. As of yet, Naughty Naughty and our Jellicoe Fox have not been in touch with the show. So the quest goes on to try and get them on the show. We're going to go for Naughty Naughty. That's the one where our Jellicoe Fox is the dream. But Naughty Naughty would be stupendous. Anyway, this week we head to the Swiss Alps. Well, I don't actually know if it's in the Alps, but it's in Switzerland. They've got Alps. Let's put the two together. And a man who started his career with Grasshoppers of Zurich. No. That's not the funny bit. Stop laughing loudly. It's not Grasshoppers. That's not the funny bit. That's their team name. Anyway, he then decided to try his luck in England. He had spells with Sunderland and West Brom. Clearly a fan of a relegation battle, I hear you say. He's a fan of a relegation battle, Reidy, isn't he? Yes, he is. He ended up with 298 career appearances in total. He was also a stalwart in the Swiss side, played for the national side 36 times. But of course, we think there's something much more important than that. Fact is, he's the winner of this week's The Name Game. So ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Burnt Arse. For God's sake, that is a picture of a bloke with a flare up his arse, and he was an idiot as well. Let's not go into that. Why are you showing me a bloke? That's not burnt arse. That's a man who is going to have a burnt arse. Two totally different things. Here's burnt arse. There we go. The real picture of burnt arse. Rumour has it he was a big fan of a curry. Anyway, here he is, our friend Ted. Good day to you, Ted. How are you, mate? Bored, Reidy. Bored? Well, I thought you know, international superstar, party animal. Every night loads of exciting social appointments and all that malarkey. Yeah, but how many parties can you go to? There's very little football. I need a holiday. Can I have next week off? Yeah, I tell you what, Ted. You take next week off, mate. Have a break. You need a break. For real, Reidy? Yeah, Ted, go on. You have a break next week. I'm going to let you have the week off. Do you know what, Reidy? You've really lifted my spirits. That's a really, really nice gesture of you to do it. Ted, it's the least I can do, mate. You've been a star of this show, and I think you deserve a week off. So, you know. Anyway, with no football, Ted, has it been difficult to find a little knob of the week? It was quite difficult for me to find the trophy then. I couldn't see where I'd put it. Idiot. Yes, I know, Ted, thank you. No, it wasn't, Reidy. It was actually very, very easy. Oh, so, who are the nominations? Where are we going? We're going stateside, Reidy. What? The US of A for our Little Knob of the Week award? Yep, home of touchdowns, home runs, and Inter Miami Football Club. Oh, Ted, I have a feeling I know where we're going with this. So, is it Phil Neville? It is, Reidy. Home run. Tell him about Phil. Okay, so Phil Neville, a man whose coaching career is not really covered in glory, is it? He was coach of the England women's team and didn't really reach the expectations he expected to. And in fact, I think most people who follow women's football were delighted that he went. Didn't really come up with anything. And then all of a sudden, he was appointed as coach of Inter Miami. Now, how would he have got the job as coach of Inter Miami? His best mate part owns them? Of course he does. So Beckham is part owner of Inter Miami, big mates with Phil Neville. Phil Neville becomes the coach of Inter Miami. Genius. Yeah, totally genius. Anyway, so let's just explain why Phil Neville's up. So currently his side are on a 6-game losing run, scoring 1 and conceding 13 goals. Is he coach of Stoke Gabriel, Reidy? No, Ted, and as we know, they are now Stoke Gabriel and Torbay Police, and those times are a thing of the past. Let's see how the season starts first, shall we? Yes, let's, Ted. It might end up a thing of the same. Anyway, so on Wednesday night they were thrashed 5-0 at home by New England Revolution, leaving them with the worst record of all the sides in the MLS. So after this defeat, Phil had to face up to the usual press conference when he went full-on cliche kid. And I just want to get some of them here. So he rolled out the usual, we're not performing, not up to the... Oh, drop the knob. This is why you tune in for this show. Shit like that. So anyway, it's where we get to. Not up to the expected standard. That won't be edited out. If you're new to this, that shit doesn't get edited out. We just leave it in. Not up to the expected standard. But he saved the best until last when he used these immortal words. Let's just get these right. We have 23 games left. That's 23 cup finals. Now, so this is a phrase normally said when you've got 2, maybe 3 games left and they're big games and it's proper do or die. They've got 23 games left. That's an awful lot. They're hardly 23 cup finals. So let's just have a look. If you qualified for every domestic cup final, plus let's say European competition, just to throw a little bit more in the mix, that's 3 a year. So by this reckoning, that's nearly 8 years worth of cup finals, Phil, that you've got to play in, just to get yourself away from trouble. Reidy, he has not got a clue, has he? I don't think he has, Ted. I mean, he seems like a nice bloke, but I'm finding it hard to disagree with you, to be honest. It's all about who you know and not what you know. Again, I'm finding it hard to disagree, Ted. So, Phil Neville, here is the first of your trophies ahead of your 23 upcoming cup finals. Unbelievable. You are Ted's Little Knob of the Week. Congratulations, Phil Neville. So, we'll see you later then, Ted. Yeah, and I can definitely have next week off, Reidy. Yeah, you can have the whole week off, mate. I'll see you later, yeah? Don't tell him. Don't tell him there's no show. Let him think that he's winning, yeah? It's probably for the best. So, zooming in. This week on Zooming In, we were joined by a couple of the members from the band Greedy Soul. We discussed, as always, their music. One of them was a big Tottenham fan, one of them was a big West Ham fan, so we delivered that. They were an absolute cracking couple of lads, and their story about how they got the lead vocalist, absolute gold. It's a proper blag, but it worked. So listen out for that. Listen out, as always, for their collaborations and who I asked who they wanted to collaborate with. And listen out for their five-a-side team. At the end of the chat, there will be a clip of both of their singles on there, along with a few photos for you to have a look at. So for now, here's Zooming In with Greedy Soul. So another instalment of Zooming In, and I'm delighted to say this week we are joined by two of the boys from Greedy Soul. Gents, how are we?
Yeah, good, right?
Yeah, surviving with the weather.
Well, it's a bit too hot, but yeah, again.
That's what everybody says. Everybody says it's too hot. And then we'll be moaning like buggery when it starts raining in about 3 days' time. We'll get onto your music shortly, but just to let people know, one of you is a Tottenham fan, one of you is a West Ham fan. We will, of course, have a little bit of fun with that as we get further into this chat. But let's start with your music. That's the real reason you're on there. So there will be people out there who don't know about Greedy Soul, who you are, what you're about, what your music's about. So guys, the sales floor is yours. Tell us all why we should be listening to your tunes.
Yeah. Lockdown done us a favour, really, because that's when we got together. Just before it, we only had a few rehearsals, and then the story goes, because the drummer Scotty and the bass player Bill was in a band before, and then it all broke up. The singer would do his own thing, so we were still just like rehearsing and having a jam on the weekends, and then we was looking out for a singer, and Tom, the singer's videos kept popping up on Facebook and that. I was listening because his acoustic stuff's brilliant as well, so I was listening to it. He was like, let's try this fella. And then one night, Scotty, the drummer, was indoors having a drink, luckily, and he was pissed. So he phoned him up and told him he's a big-time music mogul from London, and would he like to join this band? So luckily he said yeah. And then Josh come in, and then me and Josh have known each other years, like grown up together, and always said we'd do something, and this was it, yeah. But it never quite happened, did it, Josh? It was always like, we'll do something.
No, I moved away for a while, and then we always said, yeah, we'll get together, we'll do something. And then eventually, I was turn of circumstances, I was around one day, and I just tagged along, and it went from there. And we ain't looked back, really, have we?
Yeah. And then even when it was the proper lockdown from March and all that, we're just over Regent's Park, just round the corner from me in London, just over there with the acoustics, and that's where most of the songs was all written, just there. And then Tom would take them home and put the melodies and the lyrics on them and all that. But and then when the rehearsal room's open, we just crack straight on every week. Yeah.
Fab. I mean, your first two singles, I mean, Sing for Your Supper, for anyone who's not heard it, a certain rather famous DJ made some comments about you after he heard that song, from what I'm led to believe, Mr. Moyles.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. He was liking it.
Yeah. We've had a few famous retweets and all that. So, I mean, the music itself's going really well. We've got a slot in the Dublin Castle coming up, but when we met the guy who runs it, straight away he offered us a residency there at the Dublin. And he said we're the first band since Madness to be offered a residency at the Dublin Castle in Camden, which is obviously a big thing for us.
Yeah.
On Camden and having offered that since Madness, you know, if we can fill Madness's boots, well,
Happy
anyway,
days.
well, yeah. So, I mean, that's a very positive thing. We ain't even done an actual gig yet, as such, because of obviously what's been happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got our first one is next week. Should have been last month, but it's got pushed back to next week. So that'll be our very first one in Southampton. And then we're sort of busy up. We've got, I think, 5 on the spin after that. So
exciting times then.
That's it. Yeah. We've got a busy few months ahead of us now, and just seems every week we've got someone else picking us up doing another one. You know, we've still got singles to release. We've got about 6 or 7 recorded. Obviously, I only released 2 at the moment, but yeah, we would like someone to pick it up and maybe push it a bit more for us. You never know, you know. But yeah, so that's the plan, really. Try and get a bit more out there, get ourselves heard.
Stolen all my questions here, man. What are you doing?
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine, honestly. If you've ever watched my show, you'll realise that none of it is scripted. It's all just whacked together. It's just a laugh. The reality, I mean, Sing for Your Supper and Itchy Green, your 2 first singles, you could not get 2 more different singles, in my opinion. Sing for Your Supper, I mean, this is the level of my music expertise. All I do is compare everyone that comes on here to somebody else and say, you sound a bit like these. So when I listen to that, I mean, there's a definite Oasis and Stone Roses vibe about that tune. Straight away, the minute you listen to it, that's got that vibe. The second one, Itchy Green, totally different. And you guys are probably too young to even. Do you remember a band called Candy Flip?
Nah.
So they did a cover. They did a cover of Strawberry Fields Forever. And the minute I heard your song, it just took me back to Candy Flip. They're in the early 90s. You can go and listen to them now when you finish. Genuinely, but they're poles apart as bands. So your sound is really quite unique for each of the 2 singles. So the rest that you've got lined up, what sort of, are they all very different, or is there a particular route you think you'll end up going down?
No, there's some more like, yeah, I don't. Mardi Gras is a bit Happy Mondays with the pianos, but faster, isn't it? Sort of thing.
Yeah, I'll say so. Yeah, you definitely. Yeah, the people who have heard sort of a more array of our stuff said we sound like a mid-90s northern band. So whatever that means. But so we sound like we're from Manchester. But
I'm taking that because Candy Flip, we're early 90s and they're from Stoke-on-Trent. There you go. I'm taking that as a success.
So yeah, before we've even spoke to people, obviously before they've heard our accents, they assume we're all Northerners. But yeah, I'm sure so as soon as they hear us all talk, they realise we're Londoners. Well, mostly London. One's from Kent. But
well, it's funny you should say that, because when I listened to Sing for Your Supper the first time before I messaged you, that was my first thoughts, that you were from Manchester or around that neck of the woods. And then when he sent me back saying, "Oh, he's a Tottenham fan, as a West Ham fan," like, I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
We've got an Arsenal fan as well, the drummer Scotty. He's a good
I know that'd have been so much more fun if you'd got him on and all.
And a Brentford fan, so that's a bit of east and west, really.
So, if you had the choice, you could collaborate with one musical artist. You can have one each. You don't have to have the same one. Who would you choose to collaborate with?
That's a good question.
What, modern era or any time?
Anything. They can be dead as well, dead or alive. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd like to hit Jimi Hendrix over anything, wouldn't you? It's got to be. I mean, put some of his lyrics on anything. It's always going to work, isn't it? And it will be interesting to see what someone will put. A different guitar style to what Eddie and Tom play. Slightly, you know, that'd be really interesting, I think.
Yeah, I've never really thought about that, actually. It's a good question. That's just going to be picking my brains when I'm trying to go to sleep later.
We've had a right old mixture as well, I could tell you. We've had Kurt Cobain, we had Sia, we've had, who else have we had? Some right random ones. But this is where I really mix it up for you. So if you had the choice to collaborate with him, I know he's dead, so we'll have to pretend he's alive for this particular segment of the show. You can collaborate once, but the day after, you have to fold the band. Or you never collaborate with him, but you keep playing as a band. What would you have done?
Oh, no, I'd keep going as a band.
But yeah.
Big up, man, mate. I mean, every week this is a new thing for me. I've never been in a band before, nothing. I just sort of done the old, just played indoors, here and there. Never had no lessons, so I've never played with anyone at all. Only when I messed around with Eddie once in his when he works in the youth club. And I mean, last year when they went along, I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. I know that sounds like a cliche thing to say, but I sort of went along and I thought, I played a little tune on the piano, and then a week later, Tommy come back with the lyrics, and it just blew me away. And then obviously everyone had their own bits of the song, and it's still an unnamed track as it goes, but we have got it. We're ready to record it, and I knew from then. I thought, nah, I need to be getting involved with this properly. And every week we have a laugh. Then it's just mental. Every week there's something else to think about, and it just something else. You laugh all through the week until the next rehearsal, and then it'll all start again. Like it's like you just live for it at the minute, especially with all what's been happening.
Yeah,
it's a buzz. It's brilliant.
It would have been easy, innit, with all the lockdown and everything's negative. You can't go to the pub, you can't go to studios, but we just found a way, just week by week, whatever we had to do, just cracked on, just carried on having a laugh, writing the tunes, making the tunes, just waiting for this time really, when everything starts to open up, so we can get out and do the gigs. And now it's come, everyone's buzzing for it.
I have to say, and hopefully you'll take this the right way, but you do just sound like a group of lads who are having an absolute blast, and whatever comes of it will come of it. And if you rock it and you have great success, fab. If you just carry on playing the small venues to crowds of people, equally fab. You're not really bothered either way because you're having such fun with it. And it's not meant to sound disrespectful. It's really is.
That's exactly how it is, to be honest, Joe. Like, as you said, it's an escape. If we wasn't doing that, we'll only be sitting in a pub somewhere having a laugh. So it's like we're doing something we're all really good at, and we can possibly, as you said, potentially get picked up. But that's not the be all and end all, really. As you said, it's just a pastime at the minute, and then now we're getting into the clubs and sort of venues. That's a bonus. And if anything else happens on top of that, it's even a bigger bonus. Now, if we can make a career out of it, then of course, obviously, that's brilliant. That's the end goal eventually. But no, I think we're all just really enjoying doing it in a minute, plodding along, writing stuff, and waiting to get the next one's recorded and releasing what they're getting. The feedback's obviously the best thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I say, if your first two songs are anything to go by, boys, genuinely, you're going to fly from here, because they just absolutely, for a group of lads who've just come together as you have on a piss night out, grabbed a singer from somewhere. It's just brilliant. That's made it even better. That's just topped it. So, boys, we'll move on to your football. So, obviously, Tottenham and West Ham. So, I am going to do the right thing and start with the bigger club. So, West Ham, you had a cracking season last year. Sorry, we have poked fun at Tottenham. It all comes back to the Super League, and unfortunately, we've picked fun at the Super League since the day it got announced.
Good.
And Tottenham were unfortunately at the butt of the jokes because we couldn't work out how they'd been invited. We were struggling to find how they'd been invited.
I was thinking of myself as well. What are we in this for? What are we tagging along for this for?
Well, I did have a theory. It's not a very nice theory. And my theory was that the likes of Barcelona, they wanted someone to make sure that they beat. So they invited Tottenham in. I know it's harsh, but you looked at the other sides and it just didn't make any sense. It's because of where I know it's because of where they are. But generally, we will start at West Ham because you've just had an unbelievable season. I mean, you qualified for Europe. I think you were 3 or 4 weeks away from being in the Champions League. I think if that run-in just went on too long, didn't it? And you ran out of a bit of steam. Generally watching it, and I know you had to watch it from afar because we weren't allowed in, etc. What were your thoughts going into 6 or 7 games to go, and you still had a chance of Champions League?
A few years ago we had another good season where it was like we're going to get Europe, and we're not. But to be sort of, as you said, 3rd and 4th at the last knockings of the season, it was surreal, obviously, for a West Ham fan. But I think the fans not being there helped, because West Ham fans sometimes have they expect too much. They think every year we're going to be competing with the big boys, and we need to stay grounded and realise that we're a big club, but we're not the biggest. But you know what I mean. In a couple of years' time, they've shown now what they can do, and they can compete, and they can be up there. So I think it's a brilliant stepping stone for them to, build on this now. I mean, they need some more depth in their squad, which is obviously a big thing at the minute. But yeah, I mean, if they can repeat that again and aim for Europe and do well in the competition as well, then it's a brilliant step for us. You know, I mean, we've had so many seasons. We're usually in the relegation battle. I mean, mid-table is what we aim for, but yeah, to be knocking around the top places is brilliant.
But will you still do what the majority of us Premier League teams will do? You'll wait till you get to 40 points and then you'll relax.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that's
100%.
Don't do that like City now. I mean, even Arsenal must be squeaky bum time at the recent.
I tell you, I was worried about them until they started making a couple of decent signings. And I think they'll be okay. But I looked at them thinking, they're on the dodgy wicket.
One win against Chelsea with Arsenal on Boxing Day, weren't it? And it just turned their whole season around completely. They was flirting with relegation, weren't they?
Yeah, they were in
result, and then they fucking went on a run.
Yeah, they were in big trouble otherwise. So Tottenham, we do joke about Tottenham, but so obviously Nuno has come in as manager.
Yeah.
So what is the general mood amongst Tottenham? Because it's hard to gauge from the outside. Obviously, there's a bit of a bubble with London clubs. And again, I don't mean that, but there is a bubble of London clubs who probably only see what's going on in London, worry about what's going on in London. From the outside looking in, Tottenham just seem at the moment to be freewheeling in not the best of directions. And there doesn't seem to be a direction. Nuno's come in. He was probably about 27th choice by all accounts, if we're led to believe what the media said. But I mean, how do you see the next season panning out? I mean, it's.
So I thought I quite liked him anyway when he left Wolves, and then we sort of mentioned with him, and then we went for every other manager, like that was on the market anywhere, people I've never heard of, and then we come back to him. I sort of thought, why don't you just get him in from the start?
Yeah.
But I think he brings, like, with Poch, everything was all positive and everyone was together, and with Mourinho, it was like the complete opposite. Everything was negative and miserable. He was digging like people like Dele Alli out. But I think Nuno, he seems likeable, and the players, like, he'll bring that back. And I think he's stood up, like he plays a certain system and that. I think he'll just give everyone a lift by being positive after Mourinho. So I think hopefully, if just a couple of signings away, then I think we could be all right.
I mean, if you look through your team, realistically, I mean, at one stage you had your top. I mean, Mourinho had you at top of the league at one stage, and people were going mental saying we're challenging for the title. Yeah, and it just all completely collapsed. But if you look through your side, you've got an unbelievable array of talent in that side. I mean, you came to us and we battered you, and I was stunned at how easily we battered you. And I'm thinking, well, I was looking at our team against your team. I'm thinking individuals, I'd have had 4 or 5 of your team and stuck them in ours straight away if you took them as individuals. But as a team, they were just poles apart.
It was tough watching sometimes last year. Like when you say there's all this talent in the squad, and that we're playing like Roy Hodgson at Crystal Palace tactics, just sit back behind the ball and try and nick something. With all them players in the squad, he should have been on the front foot going for games. That's what was frustrating to watch, especially after having Poch there for 5.5 years, who used to do that. Everything was all about energy, attacking football, and you're going to do the complete opposite.
Yeah. And I think all 3 of us, our clubs, all have the same thing in common. Actually, we don't expect to win something every year. What we expect is to be entertained to a certain extent, the players to give 125% every single week for the shirt. And actually, what comes along with that will come along with it. If we finish mid-table playing like that, so be it. But, you know, all 3 of us as clubs have all pretty much that history has been the way we've been. And we don't, you know, I mean, the Mourinho stuff with Tottenham, it was painful to watch at times.
Do you know what pissed me off with all that? It was when Poch was there, Levy was giving it all this is going to be the identity of the club. The Bielsa thing is what Poch, he learnt off him, the high pressing, high energy. And then Poch had a little dodgy spell. So Levy just wiped that and went in the complete other direction and just, we're going to play boring, negative football then. And hopefully nick 1-0 wins. And then now he's changed his mind again. We're going to go like 3 at the back, like Nuno, like energy, high pressing and that.
Yeah, he's an odd one, Levy, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I'm being kind.
I wouldn't mind Bielsa, to be fair.
You can't have Bielsa. No, and don't talk about him leaving either. That's a no-go. It's never happening, ever. So obviously being a London-based band, and you've just said already there's an Arsenal fan, there's a Brentford fan, Tottenham, West Ham. So How much is London bragging rights an actual thing? Is it a thing as such, or is it something that's not really spoke about?
It was weird in the Euros that we was all together, like, and I mean like where we live, just everyone, because there's a mix. It's Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea around here, and everyone's usually at each other for the 9 months of the season, constantly at each other. And then it felt weird. The people you're usually all taking the piss out of each other, you're all together for this month every couple of years, and then. But no, that's gone. Everyone's fucking at each other already.
Yes, especially after that final, I think everyone's going to forget about it the very next day.
That's it.
The media starts to go around straight away about everything. Yeah, so
like, well, my two sons, I put it on one of the messages or one of the emails to you. So my two sons were born in England and both cheer for England. As I was born in Scotland, was cheering for Scotland. So they were at me for the entire tournament, and I was giving them some back as it's only the natural thing to do. And literally the minute it was all over, so right, Man United away first game of the season. It's like, let's concentrate on battering them. So straight away, it's like all back together, like you said. It's weird, isn't it?
It's weird. We were saying the other week, it'd be interesting to live like say Newcastle or Leeds, even like a one team city where everyone's together. But it's the complete opposite here, which makes it quite funny and more interesting.
Oh, I can imagine on a banter level, it's very entertaining.
Yeah, it's relentless.
The North London derby is obviously the big one. We're from Camden, so I mean I'm West Ham, but the North London derby is still a big game in my calendar.
Yeah.
Just more for the fact that everyone's out for it, the whole pub will be packed. It'd be like one of the Euro games. Everyone's out for it, just for the laugh and the banter.
So, yeah,
but yeah, it is. It's Tottenham, Arsenal up where we are. It's always a big one, isn't it?
Yeah,
but yeah. I'm a bigger than both of them, so it's you know what I mean. That's what I'm saying as well.
So obviously this season, fans will be back in the ground. So we're led to believe we might have to have vaccine passports or whatever, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So how much are you looking forward to just hugging a random stranger for the first time in 18 months when that last minute goal goes in?
Okay, bring it on.
Can't wait, falling down the stairs.
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, who would have thought, 2 years ago, we're sitting here having this conversation. We've not been in a ground for 18 months. As fans,
mad. Getting used to seeing it with no fans and then like I was watching some like the Premier League years or so, going back a few years, and you see the fans, and then you realise that's what it's meant to be like. It's just starting to become normal with no fans, and that's not good.
And that like the recorded cheers, it's just
they got them off FIFA, didn't they?
cardboard fans in the stands and all that. Yeah, it's like playing FIFA.
Well, go on.
Even when West Ham were winning it, even when they were scoring important goals, and there's no one there to cheer, it just sounds like they were doing a training exercise. And you think, everyone knows how much that goal would have meant if, like Lanzini against Spurs.
Oh, I mean, that would have been
when it come back. I mean, the roof would have come off the place. You know what I mean? It would have been mental, but at the same time, I don't know if West Ham would have played up to if the fans were there. They get right on them sometimes, and I think that adds to the pressures to the players. So. It's catch-22 for West Ham. I mean, because they can be a notorious set of fans.
Well, we said the same because obviously we went to Man City and scored in injury time to beat them 2-1 with 10 men.
Yeah.
And the three of us sat there and went, to have been in that away end right now when that goal's gone in the 5th minute of injury time at Man City with 10 men. I mean, Jesus Christ. I think I'd still have been picking myself up now.
Still have a hangover for it.
So, favourite player ever? Not necessarily your best, but just your favourite. If you were in the playground now, who you'd want to be?
The best player ever for me is Messi, but my favourite player is Ronaldinho all day long. And for that 2-3 year spell, unbelievable.
Top talent.
Yeah. See, I'm the other. I think Ronaldo's the best, but my favourite ever is Paulo Di Canio when he scored that bicycle kick, the scissor kick from the edge of the area. That was it from then on. I mean, I was obviously a West Ham fan before that, but I think I was 11 when he scored that. And just the passion he used to play with everything, and the goals you'd pull out the net, he was something else.
He was a character as well, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, character. He'll make a match. He was sulky, he'd throw his toys out of his pram, and then he would stand up and score an absolute banger.
He was someone that fans could relate to, wasn't he? That was the thing.
I was gutted a few years ago when there was talk about him coming as a manager. I mean, he ain't really done much managerial-wise, but just what he would do for the fans.
Yeah.
You know, we love him over there.
It would have been. It would have been interesting.
That's it. Yeah. Well, it would have worked. Who knows? But just for the actual thing of him being back at a West Ham game, you know.
So on the flip side, worst player you've had at either of your clubs?
Oh.
Marco Boogers.
There's been a few. We had that striker the other year and he couldn't hit a barn door. I can't think of his name now. We've had so many. It comes to me, isn't it?
We've had a few, pony strikers.
Usually strikers, you get a bad rap because, you know what I mean? They're sort of less do one thing.
They stand out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, that's it. And if you ain't scored in 30 games, I mean, even when Tevez was at West Ham, he saved us at the end, but I think it took him like 23, 24 games or something before he even scored a goal. And for a player now who was sort of dominating the world, if you can't really knock him in it. But obviously he ain't. No, I'm not putting that out there.
Quickly reverse.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But that, like we had Vincent Janssen the other year. He was. Like, it must be hard because they know they're coming to play number 2 to Kane and play the odd game and odd minute, and he might pick up an injury. But some of them strikers we brought in, Llorente done well, obviously in the Champions League and that. But some of them, it was like Soldado originally, and then when they put them,
I've got past Soldado, bloody hell.
Yeah,
they weren't great, to be honest.
Yeah, right. Emanike, I was thinking of.
Emanike. Oh yeah.
Emanike, Nigerian striker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was poor.
Right. So before we do your 5-a-side team, we're going to have an either-or question for you both. So for the Tottenham one, so you can win a trophy, not the league, but Arsenal win the league, or it's another season without a trophy, but Arsenal don't win the league.
Do you know what? I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm just so desperate for a trophy. I think I'll take anything, any trophy. Yeah, because they're never going to win. They're millions of years away from it. But yeah, I think we just need to win anything. It's like, especially being a Spurs fan and an England fan, you're starting to feel like you're cursed. That's what it felt like to us last week. But I think, just whatever happens, let them get on with it. But I'll take it.
You'll take the trophy.
Any trophy, yeah.
Right, and a different one for West Ham. So you can have a run in Europe to at least the semi-finals, but you have a relegation fight all season. Or you go out very early in Europe and you finish in the top 8.
Probably go out early in Europe.
Would you?
Yeah, I'll stay. Yeah, I think. I mean, the building on. Well, how many more games will it be just through the qualifying stages? It's adds, you know what I mean? Travelling all around Europe with a squad who ain't got much depth as it is. I already, before you even asked that question, I did think what would be more. I thought about that question, and even before they got into Europe, people were saying, "Oh, you might have been best off not getting in Europe at all," because the strain it takes on even a big club. Yeah. You know what I mean? If we've got sort of three people for each position or whatever, and I mean, hopefully they go out and do a good run, but no, I'll definitely say keeping in that Premier League's the most important thing. We've been down in relegation battles. It's not nice.
No, that's fun. And plus, you might not be able to travel to the games anyway, so what's the point? Right, gents, your 5-a-side team. Go on, sorry, mate.
No, that's what Spurs have got. You guys go like Transylvania on a Thursday night live.
Just what you want.
It's not glamorous, yeah.
So your 5-a-side team then, gents. We'll start with your goalkeeper. Who have we gone for in goal?
What do you reckon? We ain't discussed it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you reckon, Josh? Keeper.
Go on, you can have the keeper because I've got a lot of the other ones ready to go.
I think 5-a-side, even though he's modern day Edison, because he's just like having another outfield player as well, isn't he? In there, he's so good with his feet.
Yeah.
Rather than just, he's a great keeper, but for what he can do with his feet, he can play outfield. I'd go with Edison.
And seen him play live as well.
Sorry?
Have you seen him play as well?
I haven't actually.
Oh, that's the rules. You've got to have seen him play live.
Was that the thing on it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a team of West Ham players here. I can see it coming.
Oh, yeah.
Go McCloskey. Yeah, I didn't think of that, the live thing. Schmeichel then, I suppose.
Yeah, I'd have to be, yeah.
Schmeichel.
Which one?
Peter
Schmeichel. Right.
Yeah.
You're not the first. You won't be the last, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So the first, your one and only defender.
So who's having that? Do you want it, Josh, or shall I have it?
Well, you can have a defender.
I'll go Puyol. I love Puyol for Barca. Even though he was in the best, probably one of the best international teams ever and the best club side ever, I still think he's underrated.
Yeah.
Proper defender. Yeah, love him. Yeah.
Great hair as well.
Yeah.
Great hair. I'm a very jealous man. So the first of your two midfielders then.
Go on, Josh.
It's got to be Gerrard. When I see him play for England, it was unreal.
Yeah. Again, you won't be surprised to know you're not the first to. Every Liverpool fan who's been on here has had him in their team, and quite a few non-Liverpool fans have had him in there as well. So
it's got to be.
Definitely.
Especially in a five side and all. I mean,
it'd be a monster in a five side.
Right. So who are you having alongside him?
I'm hoping you've seen Barca, Ed, so you can put Messi in there.
Yeah, I was going to put another Barca, but I'm going to save it. I'm going to put Scholesy in as well.
Yeah.
Because you just couldn't get near him on a five-a-side. Imagine top class. But yeah, I've seen there is clips of him playing. I don't know if he's 6-a-side or 8-a-side since he retired, and he's just taking a piss as well. Still there.
As long as you don't ask him to tackle, you'll be all right. It's just the tackling lets him down a little bit, but the rest's fine, isn't it?
I know what I heard. It was on Peter Crouch's podcast. He was saying that he had spoke to Scholesy about it. Like everyone says, you can't tackle. He said, believe me, Scholes can tackle. And he said anyone who ever got him, he made sure he got them back. He said he's still got names he hasn't got back. So he's no answer on them down. Yeah,
brilliant. So who is going to be the glory boy, the striker?
Mr. Messi. He's got to be done, innit?
Yeah,
got to be. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I mean, my one would have been Drogba.
Yeah.
Only because I see Messi, but mine would have been Drogba, my attacker. He was definitely bravery as well on his day. Well, no, not on his day, every day.
Yeah, no, he was class, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was class. Boys, what can I say? Thank you so much. You've been a great laugh. I genuinely wish you all the success in the world. I hope everything falls into place. When you come out to tour the East Midlands, be sure to hook up and we'll go and have a beer afterwards as well, because it sounds like that might be a little important part of the band and the psyche, the sort of beer afterwards, perhaps. So, and if not, if you're not coming to the East Midlands, then I'll have to take a trip down to Camden for a night out, and we'll catch up.
We tell people just message us on our Instagram, and we say if you're in town, give us a message and just tag along to a rehearsal if you want. And we've had a few people do that so far. So.
Right, so next time I'm heading down that neck of the woods, then you'll be getting a message through Twitter. Where are you?
Message. We'll give you the rehearsal when you come.
Right, deal.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So if you haven't downloaded it already, please, ladies and gentlemen, go and download their singles. There's 2 out there, Sing For Your Supper and Italy Green, both fantastic tracks. You will love them. There's going to be a clip of both afterwards, which we've beautifully put together for you. So, gents, thank you so much. As I say, good luck to Greedy Soul and everything you do. May your live gigging go as you want it to go. But for now, it's back to the show.
Step out of the train, and you do not need a reason, and you do not need explain. Leaving in the morning when the drum don't beat the same. does not mean a thing. You know it's easy when things change. Sway with Bally Green, shake like belly dancer, run like Maybelline. Say something for me when you change your mind. I know exactly where to find that belly dancer. Say something for me, Mary.
So there we go then, weren't they girl? What a story, what an utter blag to get a league vocalist. And having spoken to the two guys on screen, you can see how they pulled it off, to be fair. Brilliant. But the song's really good. And as you heard, Chris Moyles actually said they are the best he's heard since Oasis. That's a huge shout. And they are very, very good. So let's see how their career goes over the next few years. And we will never forget they were on here. So, it's been a long time since we've heard this. Tales of the Unexpected. We've not done one for ages, but I couldn't let this one go. So, we're going to head to the Highland League in Scotland and the brilliant story of a team who achieved their highest ever finish without kicking a ball. I know, this is good. So, step forward, Strathspey Thistle, that's easy for you to say, who achieved the unlikely status of being invincible and also not winning a game in the whole season. So how did they do it? So the season kicked off, and like a load of other clubs, Strathspey never got started, but a number of clubs in the league managed to play either 1, 2 or 3 games. Now, as COVID took grip in Scotland, as it has around the rest of Europe and the world, the Highland League wanted to put their league winner into the playoff with the Lowland League club to try and win a place in League 2 in the Scottish professional setup. So Brora Rangers were declared the winner, having played 3 games and won all 3. But Little Strathspey, they hadn't played any. So the season was called, but there were a number of teams who played games who were on 0 points with a minus goal difference. So with the benefit of having played 0 games and having a goal difference of 0, the boys from Strathspey secured themselves an 11th place finish for the season, which just turns out to be their highest ever league placing. So there you go. Follow that, boys. Can you improve on 11th this season? The only problem is you've got to actually kick a ball this year. So let's keep half an eye on Strathspey and see how they do this year. So their bar has been set. So Ted is on his way back, which can only mean one thing, how old the reveal. So Ted, you alright mate? You, sir, are an absolute arse. Excuse me, Ted. I have given you next week off and you call me an arse? No, Reidy, you're an utter shithouse. You told me I could have the week off, and I find out you already had no plans to do a show next week. Utter shithousery. Well, Ted, technically you are still having a week off. Yeah, but you made out like you were doing me a favour, didn't you? Anyway, shall we see how old the player is? And the public will no longer be guessing, Ted. Thank Christ for that. You have given up that utter joke of a segment of the show. Okay, Ted, so what's your guess then? Well, 24 for me this week. I can't see he's any younger than that. Well, Ted, let's find out. So when this photo of Kenny Clements was taken, he was 22 years old. 22! How many of you called Kenny Clements as being 22? Tell you what though, Reidy, I loved his song. Ted, what are you on about? He's Kenny Clements. He was a fullback for Man City and Oldham. He didn't sing a song. He bloody did. What song did he sing? It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. That's very good, Ted. We'll see you in a couple of weeks then, my friend. I haven't forgot that, shithouse. Oh, shithouse. Harsh. Maybe fair. I have given him the week off. I didn't lie. He's got the week off. So there we go then. Episode 49 is at an end and we are almost there. We have almost reached episode 50. Ridiculous. How we have got to episode 50, I'll never know. But I'm so grateful to you all for carrying on watching and seemingly enjoying it. So remember, no show at all next week. So do not tune in next week. Set your notifications for the week after, for episode 50, when we'll come back with a bang with a host of new features. So if you like what you've seen today, or you think you're going to like what you're going to see in episode 50, click subscribe down below. Do not forget to give us those. Remember, we're after 10. So 10 likes, that's all we want. Nothing else. Let's send us off on a week's break with 10 likes. Come on, people. We can do it. We want 10. We want 10. We want 10. Yeah? Come on, let's get behind this. But for now, all I can say is ding ding. Next stop, Saturday the 7th of August for what will be the big 5-0. As always, people, we will stay safe and we will see you then. Take care.